Good afternoon, Lake Norman. How's everybody doing this afternoon? This is Justin Dionne here with Know the Scene, your weekly show for finding out what's going on in our wonderful communities here that make up the Lake Norman region. Appreciate everyone listening today. We got another great show for you. But before we jump into that, just running through some of the great things that are going on. Hope everybody's. This is it, guys. This is it. Get your shopping done now. Now, this is it. The day that this show airs, you got you really only got like four days. 4 days. Sorry I didn't wear the Santa suit today, Bill. But it's back there. That's for the other Justin, the main Justin to wear. But yeah, get that Christmas shopping done if you haven't, folks. Go to some of those wonderful local retailers here in our great towns and areas. Go to Birkdale and check out them as well. Check out your small town shop. Support them when you can. That's a great thing to do. Hope everyone's enjoying the holiday season. We had a great show last Saturday, the Sons of Serendip sold-out show. Just a really special holiday show. And we've got one more coming up this weekend, Friday night on the 22nd. Mark O'Connor and Maggie O'Connor are going to be doing an Appalachian Christmas. Wonderful show. Unfortunately, it's sold out. So I'm sorry. You could get on a waiting list for some tickets if you'd like. Check that out. But it's sold out. So we're moving forward. We're looking forward. We're looking forward now. We're already moving into 2024. 2024. Wow. It's weird to like actually say that out loud a little bit, right? Like live on air type thing. So yeah, we're looking forward to 2024. And in the meantime, before we get to our immediate first thing in 2024, make sure you come by Cain Center and check out our new exhibit. Running this month through January 6th it's called Through Our Lens. It is a wonderful exhibit, powerful community exhibit, partnership with Heinz Feet Farms. This is wonderful art therapy work that we did with this group at Heinz Feet Farm, individuals in the community that have experienced traumatic brain injuries. And, this was a 6-month project of them doing art therapy and creating their own individual artwork. And we hang it up. It's up in our galleries now, and it's just a really, really special exhibit. You could come by Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and come see it. Or when you come to see one of our shows, make sure you stop and see it. It's just really, really great to see the power that, the visual arts can have and arts in general can have just on all the members of our community. So come and check that out and support. And if you feel so inspired to buy one of the pieces, all that money goes to Heinz Feet Farm as a way to help them continue the great work that they do in our community. So tickets are on sale now, Cain Center, for our spring season, and we're about to kick it off. Our spring season kicks off in January, so sorry, it's not technically the spring yet, but we're going to start off the year with a bang on January 6th with Cain Center's 1-year anniversary gala party. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a full, great evening. It's a big reception with food and open open bar and time and fun with friends. Black tie optional, so you don't have to go full tux. Although I will say it's a great date night. Great date night. We don't, it's fun to get together with your friends and your loved ones, or you have a little couples night there and get a babysitter and put on your tuxes if you want and your gowns and come have fun. And with absolutely world-class entertainment, special performance on January 6th by Broadway star Mandy Gonzalez. And she's here with us today. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I love that you're get your shopping in. I don't know if you could see, but I not only have my shopping, but my wrapping as well. So I'm ready.
You're ahead of the game.
I'm ahead of the game because I leave next week.
You have to be. You have to.
I have to be ready because I have both my husband and my daughter are big snoopers, so I had to be ready.
They snoop around for the gifts?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it like the game?
Absolutely.
Is that part of the game? I guess maybe.
No, it's not part of the game. It's just part of life. So I have to make sure that I don't have many places to hide these gifts, and so I have to make sure that I just wrap them.
Just wrap them and then just lock the door.
Yeah, pretty much immediately. Yeah.
I'm lucky. My daughter is only 5, So like we're still at that
Oh,
point where she's just learning how to read, and she's actually doing really good at reading. Like good enough at reading
oh,
that already my wife was like, the pogo stick that we got her that she asked for, my wife was like, you can't just leave the box out, Justin. She can actually read that now. And I was like,
oh
oh,
my
you're right.
gosh.
Like,
That's so great. Oh my gosh.
like,
5 is such a fun, it's such a fun age. And I can't believe that pogo sticks are back. My daughter watches this YouTube channel, and we were watching it yesterday just because I want to see what it's all about. And it's this girl that just opens a lot of gifts
oh,
and things
cool.
like that. And one of the gifts was a pogo stick, and I was just like, "Are those are back? Like
Right.
that's so
Yeah.
crazy,
It was when she, I mean, and she asked for it, and I kind of am still not sure where she got it from. Like, I don't know if
right? Who
Bluey,
knows?
I don't know if Bluey's
Louis,
pogo sticking or Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse or something. Like, if they're pogo sticking,
right?
I don't know. But I want a pogo stick, Daddy.
She
And
knew,
like Barbie, I get like this. She finally asked for Barbie. This
right?
was the first time we got into the Barbie thing.
Oh,
But the pogo
oh,
stick was,
Baby Alive. Is she into those?
oh no, 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 not yet. I
No,
haven't
not
heard that
yet.
one yet.
Okay.
I haven't heard that
Okay.
one
5
yet.
is so fun.
Yeah, what she's in kindergarten. She just started kindergarten this year. So I guess now we're getting the
Oh,
influence of like, all the other kids too and what they
yeah,
do. And yeah.
absolutely. And what toys are there? Who knows?
Yes.
There may be some pogo stick that like the gym teachers like, come on, let's use this. So you
Yeah.
just never know.
And she goes to my daughter goes to a language immersion school.
Oh,
So it's like
cool.
very multicultural too. So like she's probably getting exposed to like lots of other cool cultural ideas, which I think is really neat too. So,
Yeah,
well, and
that's
not
awesome.
that's not we're not here to talk about me. We're here to
Oh,
talk about
okay.
you.
Okay.
You.
All right, all
You are the
right.
special. In the words of the Lego movie, you are the special
Oh,
today.
that's so sweet. I love Legos.
Yes.
And I love the Lego movies. So does my
It's
daughter.
classic. It's good.
Oh, the best.
Yes. Well, thank you again for speaking with us. We're so excited to have you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to head down. Yes, head down to North Carolina
Yes.
and to be with you guys on January 6th for your 1 year anniversary or your anniversary. Is it a 1 year
Yeah. Yeah. It's our.
anniversary?
Yeah. It's a 1 year anniversary of the building.
I mean, that's so incredible. Like,
Yeah.
thank you
It's
so
been.
much. I feel so honored to be a part of it.
Oh, we are honored to have you, and we're excited. It is going to be a very special day.
Yeah,
And this.
everybody has to get dressed up. That's going to be
Right.
fabulous.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing sparkles. It'll be just
Oh.
like, yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Yes. Sparkle it up.
Especially for now, I know like anniversary. I'm like, hey.
Yes.
But yeah,
All
I'm so
out.
excited.
It's going to be great. We're excited to have you come down. And now you're going to be coming in from New York?
You know what? I am. I'm going to be coming in from New York. I head to Houston next week I'm going to be with the Houston Symphony
Oh,
for
yeah.
their holiday season. So, and then I have a flight back on December 24th. So I'm hoping
Right
that
on
the weather
Right?
I'm hoping that the weather is smooth and everything goes well and I make it back home for Christmas. Otherwise, it's going to be like planes, trains, and automobiles.
That's right. I was like, I feel like there's a movie about this.
Yeah, and I'll be like jumping out of a plane or like something crazy
That's
to
right.
get home.
All right. Well,
But yeah, and then I'm home, and then I have some gigs here in the city, and then I head to you guys. So I can't wait.
oh, we're excited. Well, we're going to have to wait just real quick on a quick break. And then we will be right back to talk more with Miss Mandy here after the break. Know the scene. Thanks for listening, guys. And we're back, everyone. Welcome back to this week's Know the Scene. Again, really special show today here with Broadway superstar Mandy Gonzalez. I got to tell you guys, it's so cool to get to have this show and even get the chance to speak with these wonderful, talented people. I hope everyone enjoys getting to listen to these episodes. By the way, do make sure if you enjoy the show, go to your favorite podcast app and look up WSIC Know the Scene, and you can listen to this episode after it's aired if you want to listen to it again, or if you missed it live, and you can listen to past episodes. So go back and follow us, smash that subscribe button, as they say, and make sure you're kept up to date. It'll let you know whenever new episodes come up. So continuing here with Miss Mandy today. All right, so you're about to leave to go to Houston and do a run of shows down there with the orchestra, the symphony?
Mm-hmm. With the Houston Symphony.
Wow. That's is it like a special holiday show? Are you having to learn like special stuff?
Yes. So I have been for the past 6 months, I guess, learning holiday music. You know, a lot of the songs I do know,
sure,
but it's always special arrangements.
I was gonna ask, are they doing special arrangements for it?
Yeah, so you really have to work on it, or else you will mess up.
But that's the beauty of live performance. Is sometimes
absolutely like it's always different.
How do you? So like, what's that process like? Like, are they sending you lead? I mean, I guess you get the lead sheets obviously for some of the traditional stuff, but for the things that are specific, different arrangements, I mean, I'm assuming you probably have someone in New York, like a music director friend or an accompanist. Yes,
I have a musical director, accompanist. You're absolutely right. And I go and I meet with them and we do rehearsals. I sing it out loud. But really, it's getting the music, and then you meet with the symphony the day that the day after I arrive.
It's like a sits probe.
I get to do a rehearsal with the symphony, and then also we have a festival chorus. So
nice.
That'll be really fun. And then we're on.
And that's right.
It's very different than Broadway.
But at the same time, I feel like that's theater, right?
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
sometimes, like that's part of the joy of it is like sometimes you only get one, like one or two put-ins, and you're on.
Oh, totally. And you're like, the horse at the what is that called? Like a horse race?
The trot.
Like
oh yeah, the horse race.
Waiting.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just kind of waiting, like, or a car or whatever. Like you're waiting to like go on to have that race, and it doesn't matter where it is. It's just like that thrill of it.
Well, and you're
Which is like so crazy, but I think I really like that.
No, cool. Wait, right? I was going to say that's part of I think the thrill that performers get, and it probably, I mean, it starts even the first time you do it when you're younger, like that adrenaline shot of, oh my God, what if I mess up? Oh, but then you do it, and you're like, ooh, and it's almost like you just want to, you want to have that feeling again too. But like at this point, like, I mean, you're such a pro. I mean, like you're a seasoned pro here. Like, do you still get that? What? But do you still get that sometimes?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely. Or else I wouldn't do it. And I think it's important to. I think whatever you're doing to have that energy.
Yeah.
Because I think it's that energy that makes you know that you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Even though it's also a mix of fear and terror.
Yes.
The joy that also is in there. You have to remember.
Yeah, and especially in that moment of when you've done it too, it's a very like.
Oh, and then you're like, I can't wait to do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fix. Like I gotta get the fix.
Yeah.
I gotta get that adrenaline fix again. I gotta do it.
It is.
So well, that's awesome. So and you're doing multiples there. I think it's three performances.
I'm doing, I think 5.
Wow.
I think I have 5 performances there. Yeah, so I'm excited.
That's gonna be really awesome. And then you said you're coming back to the city. Well, you're Home Aloneing it style, like you're running through the airport on Christmas Eve, to make sure.
What's that guy's name from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Del Griffin.
Yes.
You're messing with the wrong guy. Like everything goes wrong. I'm just like so prepared for the 24th. I'm like, okay, I'll have everything packed. Nothing.
I'm gonna get there 5 hours early.
Yeah, I'm hoping that on January 6th I will have some really great stories to tell everybody.
Yes,
but not too great.
Not too great.
But, like just enough.
As long as those stories aren't about you coming down on the 5th, we're good.
Exactly.
We're good.
Exactly.
Now you said you still have a few, but you said you have a few performances in New York between Christmas and then the performance here, right?
Yes.
Are they
So
like,
I do have something in between just for New Year's and things like that. A lot of times there's something going on, like a private
yeah,
event or something like that. And
that's
I always,
awesome.
I'm very fortunate that I get asked to do these kind of things.
That's awesome. Is that like a sorry, I mean, we're kind of jumping around. And just so everyone knows,
No, that's
originally
okay.
I told Mandy we were going to do one thing, and then in typical Justin fashion or typical theater fashion, we're now pivoting and we're like, no, let's just go this direction.
I mean, when you got theater folks, it's just, you just talk. Like, that's how it is.
Just go with the vibe.
Yeah, and it's somebody that is from theater because you feel like you've known them forever. And that's just why I love it so much.
Yes, you can just jam. You can just jam.
Just jam. It's like, I don't see people sometimes. I've done, I've now been a working actress on Broadway for 23 years.
Wow.
It's so crazy. Off and on, because Broadway shows close and
right,
reopen and all that kind of stuff. But I won't see somebody for maybe 15 years. And then all of a sudden, I'll be walking to the stage door on 8th Avenue and I see somebody from a show that we did 15 years ago. And it's like no time has passed.
Wow.
And that's just what's so great. And now doing these concerts, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I get to know people in these different communities, and all of a sudden it's like my network just gets bigger.
Yes. How so is that, speaking of so I want to approach this the right way, like is moving into these concert, like concert style. And you see like a lot of performers will start to do that. Does that start as, like, for lack of a better phrase, like a just something that's fun to do on the side, and then it can grow from there? Are you like leaning into more of the concerts now too? Like, how do you approach that from like a from you and where you are and thinking about that?
Yeah, I think as a working artist, you have to constantly be thinking about everything and how you want to stretch yourself as an artist, what makes you tick, and I have been doing concerts and things like that for a really long time. I started singing when I was really young. I think it was like 7 years old, where my grandma, who she was just my ultimate supporter, and she loved musical theater and she loved Broadway. And so I would listen to cast albums with her. And then I was the only grandchild that would kind of sing along. And my parents worked a lot, so my grandma babysat us a lot. And then my grandma said, "Oh, well, Mandy sings really loud. We have to put her into lessons. She's got talent."
She sings really loud.
And
love that.
She had no idea that would be like help me throughout the rest of my life.
I love that.
Singing to like thousands of people. But so from a very young age, I think I started to perform wherever. My dad they were called singing machines at the time, but now they're karaoke machines. Yes. But it was like any family event. You probably had the same thing. Like, my dad would just kind of put it there and give me a mic, and then I would sing for everybody, and everybody had to enjoy it because my grandma was there too. She was like, "Isn't she amazing?" Yeah. She's like, but I started in a performing group when I was a kid, and we performed all over the place, like all over Los Angeles, because I'm from California.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 15 years old, my singing teacher, I put together, they asked me if I wanted to do a concert at this really famous hotel called the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, at a famous club called the Cinegrill. And I thought, yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
And so I put together this show. Of course, my grandmother was there, my whole family, but it was really my first kind of concert when I was 15, and I really loved it. I loved being able to have the banter as well as the music and new arrangements. So it's something that's kind of been within me. And then
so you were doing like cabaret shows before you were officially doing cabaret shows.
Before I started, doing theater.
Yeah.
It's just something that I absolutely love. Like, some of my friends that do shows with me, they'll be like, "I don't really like that part of it," and so that's not what they do.
Interesting. Yeah. Really okay. Do. Interesting. But that's where you started. I mean, for you, this is your home base.
Absolutely.
Kind of, right? I mean.
Yeah, kind of. And then when I was, I think I was like 19 years old, and I went to this open call. They were auditioning people to be Harlettes for Bette Midler, for her Millennium tour. And so I went and I auditioned for it and I got the job. And it was like, so I went on the road in a bus with
Yes.
Bette Midler. She was not in a bus, but she was in a plane and I was in the bus.
And she would meet you. She would meet you there.
Yes, but to see, she was absolutely one of my heroes. But to see somebody like that, like she did it all. She did movies, she did recordings, she did concerts. It just really made you, for me, it was a good eye opener for what it means to work in this business. That you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into just doing just one thing.
Yeah.
You can be everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I would agree. That's something that I feel like has been a theme that I've heard just as I was growing up too, when I used to do theater and stuff, when I'd work with other actors and performers.
Before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
During your warm up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I heard it, folks. I heard it.
But
it sounded beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. But the being able to be flexible and not just saying I'm just doing one thing is definitely what friends of mine, when I used to work as an actor way back in the day, they would, like, the folks I'd work with who had been acting for a long time would say, like, that was part of it. Was just look, if you just stick to one thing, you're probably gonna have more of a short career here. But if you are willing to try new things at all times and flex out the different areas, like that, it helps fill in gaps at times. Sometimes you find a new area that you never thought you'd love before. I love that. Well, look, we're going to take one more quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to keep talking with Miss Mandy Gonzalez here. Folks, hope you're enjoying this. It's a real special show today. Be right back. Know the scene. Know the scene, back at ya. This is my Ramones style. This was my we can't do the Ramones, but this sounds kind of like the Ramones.
I like it.
A little rocking around there for Know the Scene. We're back, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Justin Dionne here, speaking with the amazing and fantastic and lovely Mandy Gonzalez. Thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Loved the love. We were just talking during the break a little bit about girl dads. Her wonderful husband is a girl dad, and it sounds like he enjoys it, and I as well am a girl dad and enjoy it, and love those special moments.
Yeah, I feel so lucky that they have such an incredible bond. You know, that's all you want. But and also they have a bond that sometimes just doesn't involve me.
Oh, sure.
I think that's okay too.
Sure, yeah.
You know, as much as I want to be involved in everything, I can't always be there. And so,
well, hey, boundaries are healthy too. And so sometimes
but when
it's
I'm
nice.
Away, it's like, okay, we're going to McDonald's, you know, or Five Guys, or we're doing that tonight.
Right,
Mom's
yeah.
away. So it's good. It's like, you know, they have their little secret stuff.
Do you
like
find?
I told you about the presents.
Yes, the presents. Yes, which again, guys, if you can be watching this show on Facebook Live, so you could see the presents that Manny's talking about as well. So you can watch it back too on it'll post on YouTube after. So again, you guys can watch all this. But I mean, that's great that you can watch it after. But why do that when you can buy your ticket to see Mandy perform live here in Lake Norman at Cain Center for the Arts in Cornelius on January the 6th for our 1-year anniversary party? Get those tickets at cainarts.org. It's a full. The ticket price is all encompassing. So it's a wonderful performance. It's a wonderful evening. It's time with your community members. It's catered, wonderful food, open bar, just red carpet, all the things.
That sounds amazing.
Great
that
time.
Sounds like such a New York night, like a Broadway night.
That's
I love it.
It's kind of becoming a thing. Our grand opening event, we did that last year, and everyone loved it so much. We're like, well, let's do it the same for this year. And
I can't wait.
And you know, we're kind of in a theme a little bit too, because we grand opened with Renee Lee Scolsbury. And so we've got like a Broadway diva theme going on here. Like we've had Renee, like we're having Mandy come in, like little Broadway divas. Like I like it. I like that.
Sounds great.
So yeah, well, awesome. Well, so I loved hearing about So before we move on from the Bette Midler thing, what was, I can imagine that, now correct me, at teen when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're 19, obviously, I mean you're young, you're super bright-eyed, figuring out what's going on. Like, did you, in an experience like that, I'm assuming you probably ran into some people that you just were able to learn a lot from, like on that kind of a tour, right? I mean, did you have a lot of like mentor opportunities and things like that while you're on that?
Absolutely. And one of the things is that, I mean, just being able to watch Bette was a total masterclass of everything in this business. But I think that I learned a lot from everybody, just, it was my first time away from home. I had gone to college in my hometown at a school called Cal Arts, and I wasn't really ready. Yeah, I wasn't really ready to leave. I was always the kind of kid that got homesick at sleepovers and things like that. I just was very attached to my family, and that was the first job that kind of took me away. And I remember, even those moments of feeling that homesickness in different like cities that we would go to, and I kind of figured out what helps me when I'm on the road.
Yeah, I love that. I was
feel
gonna
like
ask.
I'm at home, and it was really like a phone call that I had with my mom, and she's like, just go out and do something. And so I did. And so every city, because I was the youngest one, and a lot of the people I was with, they had done this so many times before, and they weren't really looking to like go and check out the cities. Because
they had done it. They're like, no, I'm good. I got to go home and I'm going to go back to the hotel.
I went by myself.
Wow.
And I went to museums, and I went to some jazz shows. It was just, I kind of found myself a little bit.
That's awesome.
So when I do go, I cannot wait to kind of check out the scene over there.
That's
in North Carolina.
That's so cool.
Tell me where to go.
Yes, y'all, absolutely. We'll make sure to tell you the spots around well our town here, and you've got Charlotte. You know, we're 20 minutes north of Charlotte, so you've got both all right here. But lots of great things to do. It's January, so it's not. Unfortunately, we can't show you the lake. We'll have to have you come back sometime in warmer weather, because we have a beautiful lake here, Lake Norman, and it's just it's the biggest. It's got the most amount of shoreline than anywhere else in North Carolina.
Oh wow!
Like
that sounds beautiful.
from all the different coves and stuff and all that together. Yeah, so it's a beautiful lake, and so yes. I mean, you can still see it like while you're here in January if you want, but come back later. Yeah, come back. We'll have you come back during the warm months, and really like take it.
My husband's best friend lives in Greenville, so I've been.
Oh, that's not far. Yeah, Greenville, South Carolina. Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
I've been to Greenville, but I've never ventured over to Cornelius, so I'm very excited.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Like just nice little small town communities. You know, just north of Charlotte, so we can go into the city when if we want to go wild.
Yeah, and then just like go home and have some like.
Yeah, still have like the chill. Yeah, it's like we're the queens to Manhattan.
I love it.
We'll say we're the queens to Manhattan, or the Brooklyn, or the Brooklyn and Manhattan, right? We're go have your fun there, but we have a lot of fun here too. We're gonna have fun with you here. So tell me how. Correct me if I'm wrong. First Broadway show was Aida.
Yes.
Tell me how you got. So did that come through the Midler, experience or tour? Did that kind of lead you toward there, or how did you get? Kind of
in a way, because I saved all the money that I made from that tour.
Touring. I hear so many people say that. Save the touring money. Save the touring money.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the money. This is so great. And we stayed in New York for like 2 weeks because we played the tri-state area, all around. And I remember just feeling like, okay, this is where I want to be. And so I saved my money. And when I got back to California, I said, I'm moving to New York and that's what I want to do.
Yes.
And I remember during the tour, we stayed at the Plaza Hotel when it was still a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it's condos and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is where I'm going to stay. Not at the Plaza, but I moved back. I moved to New York and I lived in Brooklyn. And that was
nice.
I never made it to the Plaza Hotel again. But that's kind of where.
Yeah, but when you live in New York,
started.
Like you don't really go to that part of town unless you.
Yeah, and that's where it all started for me. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have anything.
Wow.
I just had this drive of what I wanted to do, and so I had 2 jobs.
Yep.
Like one at night, one in the morning, so that I could audition during the day. And I got this show called Eli's Coming at a off-Broadway house, the Vineyard Theater. And it also starred Anika Noni Rose. She was also just starting at that time, and Judy Kuhn and Ronelle Bay and Wilson Germain Heredia. And we ended up winning this incredible award called the Obie Award.
Yes.
Which is right
there. Yeah, I said, yep.
And that really started my career in New York, because the people from Disney came to see that show, and they offered me the role of Amneris in Aida, and that's where my Broadway kind of life started. And
then that helps like that, and once you kind of get that role on Broadway, does it? I'm assuming it helps to open more doors from there, because now of course more people are seeing you, other agents are seeing you perhaps as well, and it helps you start to get continue. It just
puts you in the mix.
Yes.
It puts you in the mix, whatever it is. And so from there I went and I did some other shows. The first 2 that I did were original Broadway shows, and I also learned that there are things called hits and misses. So the first 2 that I did after Aida were definite misses, but I also learned a lot in those experiences.
But you have to have it all. I mean, you right?
Do.
I mean, you got to.
Some people don't have those kind of things until, they're already like 25 years in their career. And all of a sudden they have their first miss. And it's like, I'm really glad that I had that in the beginning, because one of my co-stars, Michael Crawford, he was like, well, you can only go up from here. And I thought, well, yeah, you're right.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Michael. You're not wrong.
That
Thanks for
is
that.
true.
Thanks for those encouraging words. Thank you.
Yes, and he
Please
was
get me another
right.
drink.
Yeah, he was totally right.
Well, and up you went. We're gonna have to take another break here shortly. We got just a few, we got like 20 seconds ish. But up you went because, of course, I mean your big one from there was In the Heights, which
Yes.
phenomenal. Like what a phenomenal show, what a phenomenal performance, and creative process, like from you as well, like originating, right? That too, and working with that team. On that, I'd love to talk a little bit about that after the break. We're gonna go to break, talk a little bit about that show, and then we're gonna talk about the performance coming up here on January 6th and what people can expect from that too. So come on back, everyone, right after the break. Know the Scene. All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Know the Scene. Having a wonderful conversation today with Broadway superstar, wonderful all-around good person, Mandy Gonzalez. She's performing at Cain Center for the Arts on January the 6th at our one-year anniversary party. Make sure you get those tickets at cainarts.org. Also, all our tickets for the spring season are on sale now. Acts like the Drifters, John Oates, yes, that John Oates,
Nice.
as well. Lots of great shows. Davison Community Players, wonderful community theater here, is doing Frozen Junior in January, and you can buy tickets to that. Bring the kiddos to see the kiddos performing that. So lots going on around this community. But talking to Mandy today about her performance, and we were right before the break. We were just had scratched the surface And gosh, so much to talk about. We're not going to talk about everything, but we had just scratched the surface on Mandy's performance and experience on In the Heights. So,
I know we've had such a great conversation. This has been,
I know, and it's almost
so wonderful.
It goes by so quick every time.
I know, and it's like we've known each other for so long. I love it.
So yeah, talk to us about In the Heights like that.
Yeah, so I was in a show that didn't last very long, a show called Lennon, and it was based on the life of John Lennon, and it had about 9 different actors, and we played John Lennon at different points of his life. So I played John during the Beatles, which was really, really cool. And while I was doing this show, and all of a sudden you figure out it's not going very well, you've got to kind of look for your next gig. I got a call from my manager at the time, and he had said that there was a new writer, and he was looking to do a reading of his new show, and it's an all Latino cast. He's a Latino writer. Would I be interested in going to meet with him and the team in the basement of the Drama Bookshop? Now, I have been an artist in New York for a while. I definitely know the Drama Bookshop. If you're a working actor in New York, you know the Drama Bookshop. It's where you go.
Right.
But I didn't know there was a basement. I didn't know that you had meetings at the Drama Bookshop. It was kind of like the Alamo and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. There is no basement. So there is a basement. It sounded so intriguing, and so I said, well, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
And so I went, and I met in that basement. I met Lin-Manuel Miranda and Kiara Aleglia-Hudes and Tommy Kail and Alex Lacamoire, who I had known from a previous project, and Bill Sherman. And they asked me to sing a couple things of the role of Nina Rosario. And then they asked me if I wanted to be in the reading. So I said, yeah, this is kind of cool. And then that first day of the reading, we were all sitting around. During the reading, the first day, you usually just read out of the script, and you read all the songs, and then you start to learn the songs. But Lin-Manuel said, now I know none of you know any of the songs, so I'm just going to sing everything. And it started, and it was like, lights up on Washington Heights up at the break of day. And I was like, who is this guy? And how can I be a part of this forever? He just, he does now. It's no surprise that he has made the kind of impact that he's made in the world, because he is just surrounded in this light and in this energy that you just want to be a part of and root for and cheer for. And if you're lucky, he'll take you along for the ride with him, and I've been very lucky to be a part of that. But, then we went, we did a workshop of that reading. The producer said yes. And then we went to off-Broadway, and then they kept saying yes. And then we went to Broadway. And the last thing I'll end with about the show was running up Radio City Music Hall with all of my friends, my family, and from In the Heights, the cast that became my family and is still my family, running up together to take the award, not take the award, but to be with Lin as he accepted the award for Best Musical that year for a Tony Award. And that was like, when does that get to happen? When you get to start with something from the very beginning and just keep going, And then I think it was, so after I did that, I went and I did the show Wicked, where I played Elphaba. And I had a wonderful experience doing that. And then after that, I felt that it was time to have a family, and we were very fortunate and were able to have my daughter.
Yeah. And
then I think she was about 2 months when I got a call from Lin-Manuel and Tommy Kail.
Like you do.
And they said, Lin-Manuel has written some new songs, and they're going to present them at Lincoln Center, and we'd love you to sing one of the songs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've been home with a newborn and just trying to get myself together. I didn't have a dress to wear, but when they call,
so I got this vision. I've got this vision in my head.
Oh my gosh. That
baby on the hip,
exactly.
Okay. Oh my God.
I was just
figure this out.
Yes, I will do it. And my mom came out and helped me. And I sang for that concert. I sang Say No to This from Hamilton.
Yes.
And I also got to sing with all of my friends on all these different songs that he had just written. And I was like, oh man, like he did it again. This is really, really cool, you know? And there's just something so special about it. And then I think I went to go see Hamilton at the Public Theater, and I was just
the public run.
because it was like all my friends up there, like Chris Jackson and Lin-Manuel and Philippa, like it was everybody that I loved, and I was just like, I think I went backstage after, and I was like, it was so beautiful, I love it so much. And then when the Cast album came out, it was like I was just like a fan, like I loved it. I played it all the time, and I was doing a lot of concerts, and I would play those songs as I was traveling, and I'm like, one day I'm going to be in this show. One day it's going to happen. And a year later, they called me and they said, would you like to come in and take over the role of Angelica Schuyler? And I just was like, just give me a minute. Let me
let me think about this. Okay, I've thought about it.
Exactly. But that first day of rehearsal, it was kind of the same thing. I mean, Lin-Manuel didn't come in and he's like singing all the songs. He didn't have to anymore. But it was that same thing. I opened the score and it was just like, oh my gosh, like he's a genius, you know? Alex Lacamoire, like all of the arrangements, I was just blown away by just reading the score. And then I was so excited I got to be part of it.
Well, it's I think like how special, and I think it's a testament to you to step into those and step into, so I'll back this up for a minute. So my wife and I were saying that, like, you know, there's no such thing as luck per se. Like, a good luck is, you know, preparation meets opportunity.
Absolutely. I love that.
And then then that when that opportunity shows up, you are prepared, and then you're going to step into it. And it's almost like what you said earlier too, about that feeling of like, oh, I got to go. Nope, I'm going to do it. Like, you're a little bit terrified, you're a little bit not, but like I'm going to do it. And you know, these opportunities came for you, and both the opportunities were fantastic. The teams are fantastic, but you brought your fantasticness to it. That like were these, especially those three that you mentioned. I mean, those are three shows that, in my opinion, like literally change the canon of Broadway. And like change the canon of musical theater, right? Like we will, like our kids will look back, grandkids will look back and go, what were some of the shows? I mean, you know, we could talk about, you know, Sunday in the Park with George, and we could talk about like these, I mean, these shows that we studied when we were in theater school or whatever, that these were the shows that changed the course of, you know, musical theater. And like you, like In the Heights, like you're rolling that, right? And then also, of course, Wicked as a show, and then Hamilton, like all of those, like those three, I think are like three canon shows. And
my friend
you
calls
killed
it
in
like
all
the
of them.
trifecta.
Yeah, like, and you killed it in all of them. Like you know, and like one of them you originated too, and like that's amazing. Like, what is that? I mean, what's that like? Like, do you ever take a moment and pinch yourself about it? Or what do you know, what's that responsibility like?
Absolutely. You know, as I keep moving forward, I think that it's so important to have those moments where you do go, wow, that was really great, and I'm proud of myself. I think for me, it's so much bigger than these shows.
Of course.
Because I, as a young person, you know, falling in love with Broadway, I didn't have a lot of people that looked like me, that had a last name like mine. On those cast albums, I'm so grateful for Priscilla Lopez and for Chita Rivera and the people that have paved the way before me. And I always said to myself, when I get there, I'm going to pay homage to the people that have held the door open before me, but keep that door open for the people on their way up. Yeah. You know, because that's very important to me. And to be a part of these shows and to have young people say, I didn't think I could do this until I saw you. You look like me. Yeah. You know, it means so much to me. Yeah. And I don't take that lightly at all. And so I try to, everywhere I go, I try to reach out within the community to young people. We definitely have a choir coming to join me at the Cain Center, but to young artists, it's so important to me to reach out to them, to let them know that a life in the arts is possible. Yes. It may not always look like the one that you see where you're in the spotlight, but you know, some kids don't know about stage management.
Yeah.
Some kids don't know about,
Maybe
arts
you end up
management
running a
and things
theater
like
one
that.
day.
Exactly. And so I think that it's important to give back to your community and to lift them up so that we continue to go, so that the theater arts continue, because it's important.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your commitment, your passion, and your sacrifices you've made to make impacts like you have. And you're going to make a big impact here on January 6th. Everyone, please get those tickets. As Mandy mentioned, there is going to be local youth performing with Mandy, a song that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote for her. So you'll get to hear that too. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Safe travels.
Right.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
All right. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Know the scene. Listen to us next week, guys. Have a great one. Happy holidays.